In May, the Washington Times sent journalist David Mills to interview Professor Griff. A number of topics were discussed, but when the article was published, all the attention focused on one sentence. Griff reportedly told Mills, "Jews are responsible for the majority of wickedness that goes on across the globe." With the media scrutinizing their every move, it was a PR disaster. The resulting fallout threatened to end Public Enemy's career. It wasn't the first time Griff had brought up contentious issues in the press. The band often discussed ideas about how to regain a consciousness for African Americans, and this often spilled over into the black community's relationship with other ethnic groups.
I just finished reading The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, which was given to me by somebody in Public Enemy. This conversation was going on all the time about the control and who owns these companies and why all this group of people always doing this and controlling that and having this kind of influence. And that talk went on all the time, every day.
Whether Griff's words were reported correctly or not, the resulting media storm required swift action from the band's leader, Chuck D.
I remember being around at that time, and how tough that decision was for Chuck. It was difficult. I mean, think about it. They were the biggest rap group and one of the biggest pop groups in the world at that time, and you're told you got to get rid of one of your best friends out of the band because of his anti-Semitism. That's a lot of weight.
Def Jam's publicist, Bill Adler, refused to work with the group, and criticism from the world's media continued to build. Public Enemy's mission to change the consciousness of a generation was about to be wrecked by one interview. Chuck had to act to save his group. He released a statement, apologized, and sacked Griff.
I used to travel with suitcases full of books. Hell, I was a minister of information. So I came with 20, 30 books, and we was just kind of going over some of the information in the books. I think I had Henry Ford's book, The International Jew, The Octopus. So if you're talking about world wars, then who was responsible? If you're talking about the Civil War and you're talking about black people being brought over from Africa to America in the hulls of ships, who owned the insurance companies, who owned the ships? And that's the kind of discussion we were having.
Okay.
Because the information that I gave in the interview wasn't from Griff. It was from Jewish scholars. I didn't write it. So it's like, wow, okay.
On his death certificate album, Ice Cube recorded No Vaseline, a vicious attack on NWA and Jerry Heller.
It's a case of divide and conquer, cause you let a Jew break up my crew. Get rid of that devil real simple. Put a bullet in his temple.
And we believe now that we have come up with an agreement that would allow these gentlemen to shoot their video without depicting women as whores, without depicting African-American men as animals.
Mayor Omar Bradley also apologized for what many construed as an anti-Semitic remark made at last night's council meeting. Bradley was quoted as saying that Eazy-E was being used by people, quote, having lunch and a bar mitzvah at the same time.
And who were the owners of these slave ships? Who were the biggest slavers in the 16th century? The Ashkenazi were the biggest slavers in the 16th and 17th century, going into the 18th century. You see, Ashkenazi slaving was huge. This is from, I have to be careful when I say this, so my sources, it's always best to go with Jewish sources, right? Because you just trod on a bunch of toes. So we'll go with the Jewish sources. There's a ton of sources out there, but I'll stick with the Jewish ones because that's just safer. The Jewish scholar Jonathan Shorshak says this: Jewish merchants routinely possessed enormous numbers of slaves temporarily before selling them off. If a slave auction fell on a Jewish festival, it was postponed due to lack of buyers and sellers. The Jews of Suriname gave their slave plantations Hebrew names such as Machanayim, Nachamu, and Goshen, Rabbi Herbert Bloom adds that the slave trade was one of the most important Jewish activities. Jewish slaving is in fact confirmed by the Jewish Encyclopedia.
From the Jewish Encyclopedia, quote, "The cotton plantations in many parts of the South were wholly in the hands of the Jews, and as a consequence, slavery found its advocates among them."
So, in the days that we live, there's nothing more important than this Melchizedek message. It is the solution to the Palestinian problem. It is the solution to the Black Lives Matter that is being fomented by the synagogue of Satan. It is the solution to racial tensions, segregation, that is all part of the synagogue of Satan's plot. But that is what they want, so that we keep our minds off of them as the true slavers.
Jews had in fact been involved not only in the African slave trade, but they had been involved in a variety of other slave trades too for a very long period of time. Apparently they had actually dominated slavery and the slave trade in medieval times. On the plane on the way here a couple of days ago, I was rereading a dissertation, a PhD dissertation from 1977 by a man called Harold D. Brackman, who is a functionary of the Simon Wiesenthal Center of all places. And he did a PhD dissertation detailing black-Jewish relations from ancient times up to 1900. And he actually mentions in his dissertation, he acknowledges the fact that Jews were the principal slave traders in the world for several hundred years, although in typical fashion he puts a very interesting spin on it. He acknowledges, as I guess he has to, the Jews were the major slave traders in the world, trading slaves everywhere from Russia to Western Europe, to India, to China. But he says that they dominated the world trade only for a few hundred years, only. He says they were the main slave traders from the 8th century to the 12th century, but that was no big thing. It was only a few hundred years.
And this will be like showing a vampire the cross, or throwing holy water on a vampire. See, because the worst thing that a deceiver wants is for the people deceived to find the truth. Black folk picking cotton. Listen good now. Cotton was then what oil is now. The largest producer of oil in the world are the rich ones, and the strategic interests of America means in order for them to rule, they have to link with where the oil is coming from and take it or maneuver to get it, but they must have oil. In the time of slavery, it was cotton. And it's interesting that the cotton would come down the Mississippi, New Orleans to the Gulf, from Biloxi, Mississippi, and from Mobile, Alabama. And the cotton would come down and go up to New York, where the brethren of the Jewish people in the South, in the North, were the masters of the needle trades. And they had their brothers also in the South taking the lint from the cotton and producing cloth through weaving. But these were Jewish people owning the land. They were the majority. They were the merchants. They were the traders. They knew how to hook up with their brethren in the North. And they would send raw cotton to the mills in England, in Manchester, Leeds, and Bristol. And the British would turn it into cloth and then sell it all over the world. The Rothschilds became rich from cotton. The Lehman Brothers became rich from cotton in Alabama, then moved to New York and Wall Street. I know the truth, and somebody gotta tell it or die trying.
that I'm angry with some of the Jews. I'm very goddamn angry at some of the Jews. Hollywood is run by Jews. It's owned by Jews.
It will take more than that.
I'm sure you're right.
How do you like the bounty hunting business?
Kill white folks and they pay you for it? What's not to like? I like the way you die, boy.
1,000 times again.
I'm a Jew, and my people, we're not hunters, we're furriers. You know, I mean, you see, the whole crew's laughing now about that, especially the guy over there who's Jewish, because he knows. Because, you know, it's like, I can't kill the thing, but I can make you a nice lapel out of it.
But then again, the diamonds as well. How y'all in, as you would say, diamonds, furs, a movie business? What's the deal here? It's a monopoly?
What? What?
What?
What?
Your people.
My people.
Yeah.
We own everything.
I know. How is that?
Well, because we're the smart people. We're the Jews.
Alles das ist dort dargelegt und wir ignorieren das. Wir lassen uns von den Juden auf der Nase herumtanzen, uns ein schlechtes Gewissen einreden mit Auschwitz und sonst was. Und wir schlagen ihn zurück und sagen, was seid ihr denn? Was macht ihr uns denn für Vorwürfe? Ihr seid doch die Propagandisten des Völkermordes. Und nicht nur die Propagandisten, ihr seid die Täter des Völkermordes. Und wir werden euch nachweisen, welche Verbrechen ihr in dieser Geschichte schon auf eurem Schuldkonto habt. Wenn ihr 6 Millionen Juden als ermordet anmeldet, um uns ein Schuldgefühl einzuimpfen, dann müsste man entgegenrechnen, manchen, dass allein die Entvölkerung Afrikas im Wege des Sklavenhandels, das war ein jüdisches Geschäft, Afrika im Mark.
The Holocaust is big business because Germany so far has given the Jews, I think, at least $200 billion. So it's big business. And some of you are still getting $1,000 a month. And a lot of people don't know this. And then people don't realize who brought the slaves to America. They were Jewish ships.
Always running around here trying to make you get sympathetic for them. But you was a master at that. Make you shed crocodile tears over what happened to him in Germany. You tell him what happened to you right here. You haven't got no time to cry no tears for no Jews. 80 million black people dead, murdered. And these Jews got the audacity to run around here and want you to cry for them. Let them go cry for themselves. Tell them if they're interested in your problem that you have some of these stores. Instead of opening stores up all in your neighborhood and robbing you deaf, dumb, and blind. Yes, the Jews do that. They over there making their own, you over here begging Goldberg for his. $1 down and $1 when I catch you. And Goldberg always catches you. If Goldberg can't catch you, Goldstein will catch you. And if Goldstein don't catch you, Greenberg will catch you. $1 down and $1 later, and later is always now. It is Jews right here in Harlem who run these whiskey stores that get you drunk. It is Jews that run these old rundown stores that sell you bad food. It is Jews who control the economy of Harlem and use it for themselves and for the benefit of Israel. And got nerve enough to walk around here joining some NAACP or CORE and think we're going to be blind to what they're doing to us. No, someone better pull their coat. Someone better pull their coat before you start pulling some heads. That's not anti-Semitic, that's just plain intelligence.